Athletics, I think, is advantage over other sports in addressing equality is a sport that has always been open to everybody. Males and females have always competed in the sport at the very highest levels, and so it hasn't run into the trap that the footballs and rugby's of this world have of being male orientated and therefore testosterone driven and ego driven, and you've got to be a man to do these sports. Athletics, I think, has a major advantage over others because it's open to anyone, and it's never had those barriers of gender or race that other sports do. I put a significant amount of time into coaching because they demand it of me, and that's not to say, oi, be here now. It's very much that they want to be better, I want to help them be better, therefore it's got to be this level of commitment. Particularly in the last couple of years, the squad that I'm working with currently are at a performance level that says I want to be running for Great Britain, for Ireland, whoever they happen to be representing. And so that requires you as a coach to challenge yourself in terms of how you plan things, how you organise your own life in order to organise theirs. So it's all about being better tomorrow than you were today. And that in itself is a challenge that as a coach, I love, relish the idea of trying to just help people be better. And I think that the key part is that you've got to remain keen to learn. Learning is a massive part of being a coach. I need to keep experiencing and understanding what the next thing is that will help the athletes that have chosen to work with me and the ones I want to work with, because every single one of the people I've worked with in the last 5 years, say, as well as the previous 20 years, requires something different. If you think you've learnt enough, you're going to start failing. It's crucial that you look at it and go, do I know enough now to help them be better tomorrow? I've never sat down and said to people, I am gay. That's never been the conversation. I don't think I certainly didn't tell anybody till I was in my mid-20s. There was never a need, as far as I could make out, of telling people which, at the time, information about myself that was still not clear in my own head. I think the 21st century is so much better place to grow up as a gay man or a lesbian woman. It's just an amazing time that wasn't how it was when I was 11 to 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, I was picked on and I was bullied. I was treated as someone different because I didn't conform to he's a lad. I didn't kick a ball very well. I didn't fight in the playground. So I wasn't a typical schoolboy. I can still remember the name of the kid that first called me queer and where I was. I can actually remember exactly where I stood. But it was a moment in time that made the next 5 years, 6 years of my life very difficult because they said that's different. If something's different to what you know, you either have to try and understand it or you attack it. And that's probably the two choices, isn't it? You're not my normal, therefore you must be odd, therefore you must be queer, therefore you must be bullied. I always wonder, in terms of a celebrity who says, I am gay, what was the reason for that moment? Because my line with athletes that I've coached who are gay and are either out or not yet out is, it's your choice as to when it happens. It can't be mine and it shouldn't be society's. It has to be your choice as to when you say, this is more of who I am. And clearly there are still restrictions in sport. Football still looks at itself and goes, you need to be a man, in the old traditional sense of the word, rather than just going, you're a great player. Those old style stereotypes still hold people back, and that's tragic. There were times when I feel sad that I couldn't be more open earlier. I told my brother first, my mum second, my dad third, and then my sister last, and she said, I already knew, and why did you wait till last to tell me? I know people who are older than me that aren't out, and I find that very sad because I've coached gay kids, I've coached gay teenagers, gay young adults in the last 10 years, that in the previous 10 years to that would never have felt comfortable enough to be as out as they are. The next 20, 30 years of society should really open up the doors to anybody to not have to pretend to be something else. And the interesting thing, as I look at youngsters in sport now, it's very obvious that people are gay or straight, lesbian, transgender, and nobody bats an eyelid. And that's how it should be, surely. Clearly, I'm living in a very enlightened society in the UK, and I'm very privileged to be here. I know fully that there are still people in countries around the world that struggle. So again, in the next 20 to 30 years, the rest of the world maybe should catch up with that equality level that we have. And I think it will. I think it will. I think it's still moving forward, and I can't see it slowing down.